Hi, welcome to this Zapier video where how you post leads from one platform to another platform. So Zapier acts as a middleman here. So what you need to do is first things first, click on create a Zap. So you see Zap on the left hand side where you see that the plus button, right? The button which has the plus symbol. Once you click that, you'll be able to select a platform where you can go ahead and integrate. In this case, it's nothing but a spreadsheet that you see, right? As we've integrating Google spreadsheets into Iris Logics. So a spreadsheet can be anything. So basically, we just selected a Zap and we selected a spreadsheet to integrate into Iris Logics. So we are just setting up the spreadsheet with the spreadsheet with the fields. So there is some data in the spreadsheet is what we are mapping now. So once you test the trigger, you see that there are so much of data which is available in that particular spreadsheet. All right. Now we select action 2. Action 2 is nothing but the next application that you're going to go ahead and push data into. So the spreadsheet is going to push data into Iris Logics. And for Iris Logics, you wouldn't select Iris Logics in Zapier, but you will select an option which is called as a webhook. So through that webhook is where you will post into Iris Logics. So webhook is nothing but which is available in a premium feature in Zapier, which will allow you to post our public URL along with our API key and map the fields which are there in action 1. For example, say first name to first name, last name to last name, cell phone number, email, and then that's how your data is going to go into Iris Logics. So now the person's sharing the screen again to show you the action too. So they're just like checking the fields which are available in that Google spreadsheet just to be sure if they're posting the data correctly. So like I said, the spreadsheet can be anything. It can be your web form, the form that gets submitted on your website. It can be another application like say Facebook or any other platform that the data is getting posted, the first bit of data which is getting posted, and you want to push that data into Iris Logics. So in this case it's a Google Sheet, but there are various other different ways that you can do this from Zapier and post data into Iris Logics. Like I mentioned previously, Zapier acts as a middleman. So now, action 2, you guys see the screen which says action 2. Now they're going to do a post into Iris Logics. So do you see something called as webhook? So they were going to go ahead and select webhook. Yep, webhook by Zapier. You guys see that? That's how you put, the case into Iris Logics. So the event for this would be post. So it's going to be a post method because it's posting data into Iris Logics. All right. Continue. And the setup action is what you guys have to do. So this is just going to be a one-time activity, and once you set this up, it's going to be an automation, right? So now they're just setting up the actions. So you see URL required, right? That URL will be available in the Logix API platform. So you will need to go back to iris logics, go into security, go back into API, and in the document you will see something called as create case, and you'll find the URL right there. So the feature type will be form. So the data is nothing but the fields. So this is where I was talking about mapping the fields. Mapping the fields is nothing but the thing I was speaking about, mapping the first name to first name, last name to last name. So basically, when you map the fields, say in this Google Sheet, right? The data which was available was first name, last name, middle name, social, um, phone number. So it's the same should be available in Logics, and you would map it accordingly. So now they're selecting whatever is, say for example, status ID, or say first name. They You should copy paste from the word from the API document that is available in Iris Logics into this data, and in the next field you would select the first name which is there in that Google Sheet or your web form, or whatever the other platform is. So basically, you're just um, mapping it. The left side is mapping it into logics, and the right side is what is there uh, in the action one, which was done prior. So product ID. So if you could see what they're mapping is status ID, product ID, first name, last name, cell phone. So you need to fill up. So whatever they're doing is for Iris Logics. On the right hand side, they will match it with whatever they have on the form. So now we are in the place like, right below the mapping, there is something called as headers. So what you guys would need to do is headers would always remain as authorization. So it's nothing but you will type the word authorization in the header box. And right where I'm pointing out is where, you would enter the API key. So the API key will be available in Logics. So I'll guide you how that is. You have to go to security, go to API key, and create a new API key. And in that, you can give access to write. Write is nothing but to post data. Okay. So this is a platform where we just use to test. This is another platform called as Postman. Um you don't have to worry about that. But in Logics, you would find an API key, and in headers is where you post that. So no, so the person just pasted that in the wrong place. If you see, you just need to move that to the next box, the API key to the next box, right there, and you need to type in the word authorization. All right, now the webhook is all set to fire into Iris Logics. So there's another step in this video that they had actually missed, which they are going to be doing uh, now. So basically, when you see it is the data just gave that the the fields that were mapped were only in logics. So they didn't map the fields that were there in the Google sheet, right? So they will need to now logic's side. The left side is logics, is what I was saying, and if you see previously in this video. So the right side is what is there in the web form or Google Sheet or any other platform that you guys are trying to integrate. So what you would need to do is you would need to go ahead and map the first name to first name, last name to last name, cell phone to cell phone. So that is what they're going to do. So they missed out on that. So let's just wait for a moment and you would see them do that in the video where they would start mapping the fields. So now if you guys see this, they're mapping the status ID. Status ID is nothing but the status ID which is available in Iris Logics, where in which status do you want to go ahead and post these particular leads. Product ID is one for tax resolution. Similarly, first name, so they're mapping where the first name is there in that particular Google sheet or a web form or any other platform. So you'll go ahead and map each and every field which is available. So last name to last name, self, yep, that's last name, and cell phone to cell phone. And you keep doing this throughout as to how many other fields are there in your web form or your Google sheet. Just completely map it until the end. So you see that they're still mapping the fields according to what they would want to the data to show up on logics, and click on continue, and that's where you'll see all the data mapped accordingly. Then you have to test the zap. Okay, now they're running the test. So there is the case number. You guys can see the case number there on the screen, and that is received in logics. And once you go check in logics and the case seems fine, you click on publish zap. And once you publish is nothing but the automation is set. So now it continuously keeps happening as an automation. So whichever the web form gets filled, that would go ahead and post the data into logics with a case number from Zapier. This is how this whole process works. I hope you guys liked it.